I'm Judy Tunis Cordell.
I'm Susie Tunis Bunner.
My name is Jared Heindel.
Ryan Morgan.
Brett Morgan.
And we're here today to celebrate our farm being in the family for 200 years. This farm has been in the Tunis name since 1815. Henry and Elizabeth Tunis started out in New England. He was from New Jersey, she was from Maryland. They married in Cambridge, Ohio. They traveled here and they built a cabin, then a stone house, and then their son Madison Brady built the house we're now in. And we're just behooved to them. What it means to me is the connection to what the ancestors did in order to give it to us and what we need to do in order to pass it on to the next generation and help them to see how special the gift is and want to keep it forever.
Unlike today where your kids, you have to constantly know where they are and what's going on and things like that, we would run wild and free over 500 acres doing whatever we saw fit. It was pretty exceptional.
Yes, I was about 8, so you would have been 11. We had been out in the fields with my dad and my uncle doing hay, I assume. And we have a very large hill. It's a big one. And I was sitting on a hay wagon attached to the tractor. And Judy and my Uncle Bob were behind us in a truck. And I'm going up the hill behind my dad, and I'm sitting on the side, and I finally noticed that he was going up the hill and I was not going up the hill. And I was actually going down the hill on the wagon, which had disconnected from the tractor, and it was careening down the hill. And I thought it was probably a bad thing to crash with the wagon, so I jumped off the wagon and survived. I got a nice little dent in the head, but I was okay. And my Uncle Bob, following, looked at my sister and said,
"Look, Jude, there goes Suze." And the wagon was coming down the hill backwards and going like this, and little Susie's on there. But he didn't raise his voice. It just, "Look, Jude, there goes Suze," and off you went.
Uncle Bob never got excited.
Never got excited.
There were wild cats and kittens constantly reproducing and in every building that we were around. So our daily ritual while waiting for the bus was trying to find out a new way to capture these animals. Again, nothing malicious coming from it, just they didn't want to be caught. So our goal was to find a new way, whether it was with an old wicker basket and a stick with milk under it, and we would pull it out and they would go over, and then cats would run everywhere. That was a big part of our daily ritual, just waiting for the bus to go to school.
When I was little, and she was 2 or 3, I get called, "Judy, come up here, Judy, come up here," to come upstairs. So I go running up. My mom is up there almost in tears. My sister has put her head through the curve in the banister at the top and can't get out. And you did that because?
Looney Tunes had Bugs Bunny, and they always had a cane in the curtains. When somebody needed to leave the stage, they got a cane and they pulled them with the cane off the stage, and it looked like one of those canes. So I thought I'd do a Bugs Bunny imitation, but I couldn't get out.
So here she was, sliding kind of down the step, almost strangled. My mother would run down. She had butter, she had Crisco, she had baby oil, she had everything to try to get this little girl out. And she was desperate. She was going to go get my dad in the barn. But Susie was sliding, so she wanted me to hold Susie on my lap. And I'm probably 5 or 6. And all I can remember was holding her, and I would slide, and I thought I was going to strangle her, she was going to die, and Mom and Dad were going to blame me for killing her. Then Dad came in, and you can tell the rest.
Well, I don't remember this, but I guess he had a saw in his hand and he was going to cut the banister to let me loose. And at that moment, maybe I thought it was for my neck. I slipped through. That was it.
She came out, and everything turned out just fine. What this farm means to me is really hard to say. You grow up, and it's home. That's number one. It's home. It's all the memories you've had. I lived here until I was 60 years old, never went anywhere else, never expected to go anywhere else.
As far as what the farm means to me, it really does mean family to me. I spent some part of my childhood trying to run away from the farm because, you know, just as much as we enjoyed the freedom of it, sometimes the isolation of it, not being close to other people, is difficult. But I really found myself coming back here again and again, and I wanted to bring friends and stuff with me. There's a real drive to bring other people into this experience and allow them to connect. They wanted to understand what this was like and what it meant to me.
We want to congratulate the Tunis family on this achievement and thank them again for hosting this celebration.
A wonderful legacy that we've had, and my son lives here and my grandkids live here, and we just go out for a walk in the woods and we can be walking for hours and just thinking of the ancestors and what it meant to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. 200 years too, so we're thrilled. The older we get, the more we appreciate it, I think,
That's
because it's
true.
unusual. And when you're younger, you don't think a thing about it.
No,
You just,
'cause this
that's
is
where
home.
you live, and you take it for granted. But
You don't realize.
we love it.